Happy Sunday, everybody. Daniel here. We're continuing our series, What Do I Believe and Why? The last couple of weeks, we looked at what do we believe about God and why. The reason we're going through the series is that I find many Christians state something they believe, but they don't know why they believe it. And so when someone challenges them, they're kind of shook to the core because they don't know why. They don't know why. And so I encourage you to look at the last couple of weeks. We looked at who God is. And then this couple of weeks, we're looking at who humanity is. All right? Who humanity is. Sorry, I'm saying that all weird. So what do Christians believe about humanity and why? Now, it might seem like a simple question or a simple answer, but the reality is how you answer this question greatly affects how you view yourself, how you view others, how you view your purpose in life, how you view evils that happen to other humanity in the world. So how we answer this question greatly affects how we see everything else and how we live according to everything else. Now, Scripture is very, very clear. Right from the beginning, in Genesis, it talks about how humanity is made in the image of God, meaning that we have value and dignity because God has made us. All right, when we're set apart from creation, we're unique. All right, that we're not like anything else. In Psalm talks about we're the crown of His creation. So Christians believe that humanity, is made in the image of God, giving us value and dignity, and nothing can take that away. Where we have value and dignity, intrinsic value and dignity, because God created us in His image. Now, I want to point to something happening today that gives evidence for this being true. All right. Now, a few months ago, many of you guys are familiar. A few months ago, you should be familiar, that George Floyd was killed, and there's a great outcry against injustice, and rightly so. Why was there an outcry? And that's what I asked him. Like, why was there an outcry? Why was there's something that struck within humanity? The reason being is because we know that we are intrinsically made with value, intrinsically made with worth, no matter who you are. And so, but the reality is, if humanity is just a byproduct of evolution or it's just God is not involved and it's just a survival of the fittest, then why is there an outcry? Let me give you an example here. This shows that we know humanity is intrinsically different than anything else, and that humanity has this intrinsic value and worth and made in the image of God. And why we know that, even people that aren't Christians know that. And so let me give you a simple example. Right? Say for you ask me to watch your fish. Watch, not wash. Watch your fish. All right? You're going to go away for a few days and or a week, whatever. You're going to have me watch it. I'm like, okay. And so, but me, I'm black and taking care of the fish. I don't take care of the fish. I don't feed the fish that often or not at all. And after a while, the fish actually dies. All right? You come home and the fish is dead, and you're like, why is there a dead fish? I'm like, I didn't take care of it. Sorry. Obviously, you'd be mad at me. You definitely would never have me watch anything of yours ever again. But that's kind of really the end of it. All right. Now, let's change the scenario a little bit. Say, for example, instead of a fish, it was a child. Would that change the reaction to the situation? Yes. Greatly so that would. Greatly so that would. Why? Because we know humanity is uniquely different, and humanity has intrinsic worth and value. Now, and it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're born, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter what you look like. We have intrinsic value and worth because we're created in the image of God. Now, the Bible is very clear on that. And no one can take away your value and your value and worth because God created it. Now, I love this quote by Jim Garlow. He says, committing violent crimes against someone reveals a profound disregard for human life and dignity. Whether these crimes are a result of hatred or prejudice, the result is the same, a violation against a being created in the image of God. What's it saying? It says our value comes from God. Each one of us is made with intrinsic worth and value. I know I keep saying that, but it's important to understand that is a Christian understanding and belief that we are made with value and dignity. Now, where does that value and dignity come from? It can only come from God, our Creator. Now, this quote by Paul Copeland kind of wraps it up, and it says this: intrinsically valuable thinking persons do not come from impersonal, non-conscious, unguided, valueless process over time. A personal, self-aware, purposeful, good God provided the natural and necessary context for the existence of a valuable, right-bearing, moral, responsible human person. What's that saying? Saying that our value can only come from God. The personal, self-aware, purposeful, good God who created us. And not an impersonal process over time. Now, this outcry that we see happening in our country is evidence that humanity is unique to all other creation. And our outcry points to the reality that we, each one of us, has intrinsic value and dignity that all people do, and that this value and dignity can only come from God, our Creator. So we'll continue this next week, but what do Christians believe about humanity? That we are created in the image of God with value and dignity. And that value and dignity can only come from God and nothing else. Well, hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time.